Anderz Verjgang, the young FIFA pro who won all of his 5 eChampions League matches. It's not easy to win 5 games in these big tournaments with a lot of talented players. Today we're gonna analyze his goals he scored, but before let's take a look at some basic and advanced strategies in his game style. If you want to learn how pros build up consistently, you need to master the possession play style, the ability to keep the ball in any situation. So let's break down how Anderz keeps the possession as a FIFA pro. The first step to master the possession play, the ability to know what the opponent is doing with his defenders, and you react accordingly. Let's go into details because we already have a tutorial explaining this. If you're interested, link in the description. So if the opponent is cutting passing lanes, you will see that Anderz will look for another passing options. He always knows what's around, and he expects the opponent to cut passing lanes. So if the opponent does so, Anderz just choose another pass. He doesn't force the pass like some of the average players do. The next thing, if the opponent is cutting the passing lane, Anderz takes his time on the ball until the pass opens up, or he dribble into the available space. For example here, he passed to his winger, Alawiran. He makes a simple ball roll and beats the opponent's defender. As he's cutting inside, the opponent spots this pass so Anderz realize it. So Anderz performs the stepovers and exploit this space, but unfortunately he didn't score. So what if the opponent is approaching his ball holder? That's when he passes the ball sometimes to dodge this press, or turning away immediately and release the ball. It's not something complicated, but Anderz is a very skilled player during one-on-one situations. We shall look at that also. No pro player who haven't mastered the art of controlling the ball safely. We have a lot of tutorials explaining this, so let's break it in just details. When receiving the ball, Anderz first spots which direction his opponent is coming from, and where is the space. The basic way to control the ball is to put your player in between the ball and the opponent's defender. Here it's hard for the opponent to tackle the ball. All pros do this in every angle and situation while receiving the ball. Sometimes if the opponent is tightly marking the ball receiver, Anderz passes the ball back immediately. You don't need to control the ball every time, especially in these situations. Dribbling. In order to master the art of keeping possession, your dribbling has to be on point. You need to sprint less, especially in the middle area. All pros don't oversprint as some of average players tend to do. Here they can keep possession very precisely. Anderz is one of the best pros who are too good during one-on-one situations. He can beat the opponent's defender very easily, and this forces the opponent to avoid overcommitting. That little space you create for him, he uses it very effectively. He's good at reading the defender's movement. Not only that, but even anticipating what opponent is about to do. But the very interesting thing is that he uses less skill moves, not like Tex who uses a lot of fancy skill moves. Anderz normally uses 3 skill moves. 1. The ball roll. To change directions very quickly, ball roll is a simple skill moves a lot of players use on the game. In fact, it's the source of all skill moves. Just mixing up the left analog plus the ball roll, this makes it hard for the opponent to challenge the ball. 2. Is to change or open up passing angle. That simple ball roll can do a lot of magic, just to make sure your pass is accurate in a weird angle. The next skill move is the stepovers, Anderz' number 1 skill move. He uses it at its extreme in a very classic way. If you don't know how to perform these skill moves, check the link of the video in the description. He uses the stepovers to burst into the space. If he notices the space in front, you always know what's coming. Anderz uses this skill move to beat his opponent's defender one-on-one, and not only that, but to dodge tackles also. This skill helps him a lot to maintain possession in a very tricky situation. The last skill move is the reverse elastico. Not as stepovers, he rarely uses this skill move, but if used, it's around or inside the box to beat that last man and score. Passing the ball is the key to break any defense, though if the opponent is good, can interfere into your passing game by cutting your passing lanes. Anderz, he normally passes in the triangle format. It's not easy to defend his passing game. We have the in-depth tutorial explaining this. Check the link in the description. So let's just look into it in details. Passing in triangle, you give the opponent hard time to mark all your passes, and you can react very fast. If the opponent marks the other pass, you immediately take the other. So it's upon the opponent to keep his concentration at maximum level and marks all the passes. Here you pass with purpose. Passing in triangle format keeps your opponent guessing, and so he loses mind and drags players out of position. The next overpowered pass is the driven pass to the box. Finding that player around or inside the box is very overpowered trick, but there's a lot of players blocking that passing lane, so get any slight angle and use the driven pass. This opens up everything. In order to maintain possession, you need to control off-ball players. Anderz is very good at this. First is calling your players short. To call a player short, you press the R1 while pointing the left analog towards that player. He comes near to receive the ball. This normally happens on the wing where you run out of passing lanes, and also sending players forward. We also have the full video explaining this concept. Check the link in the description. Sending players forward creates more options in front, and this helps you to attack in numbers. This opens up the space around your ball holder or other players, but sometimes you will run out of options if you overdo it. That's why you need to call them short. You send them forward after you call them short. This makes you unpredictable and confuses the opponent. The most overpowered way to break the opponent is building up from the wing. Make your way back into the middle pitch. This trick is very overpowered and a lot of pros use it in their build-ups. Taking the ball to the wing area, pass around in all formats. This forces the opponent to drag his players that side, and when Anderz gets that slight open passing lane to his players in the middle area, he takes it. This trick works, and every time you move back to the middle area, you will realize that a lot of space has opened up. It's hard to defend this trick. So all the mechanics we have looked at, we get to see Anderz using them in his build-up when analyzing his goals. The game didn't start well for Anderz and he conceded 3 goals. He had to come from behind to turn around the game. He was frustrated during the game, but this normally happens when things are not going your way. The first goal comes in the 58th minute. Anderz works his way to the middle area, finds his midfielder, gets the ball to his winger, takes it to his striker and score a very important goal he needed to get back into the game. So here the opponent is passive. Anderz take his time on the ball, pass opportunity arise and he takes it. All that was built from the wing. He calls his player and takes this pass. Now he needs to get the ball to his striker. He visioned this triangle passing pattern. He takes it and get the ball to his striker. Beat the opponent using the reverse elastico and score. That's how good Anderz is during one-on-one. Second goal comes in the 66th minute, passing around and gets the ball to his player around the box, makes some tricks and finds his striker 09, score another important goal. So here, he passes the ball to his player, Ronaldinho. He receives it in a safe way. He passes around, just to get that opening. He notices this pass. The opponent also spots it and switches to this player, trying to intercept it. That's why Anderz used the driven pass. The opponent was good and switched fast to his full back. Anderz receives the ball safely, so now he had this pass, and also this space. His opponent was doing a good job of not overcommitting to any option. Anderz turned into the space and performs the stepovers to drive the opponent's attention. He tricked him not to mind about this pass anymore. Stepovers in turn, this opened up the pass to his striker. He takes it and score. The last goal of the first leg came from a mistake. Losing the ball in your half at this high level, playing opponent in the caliber of Anderz, you will be punished at all costs. So Anderz, after winning the ball, he passes it quickly to his winger. Here he have this passing lane, but he knows his opponent will watch it, so he performs stepovers into this space. This is to force the opponent to drag away his defender, and not minding about this pass, which worked and opened up the opportunity for Anderz to pass to his striker, to face the center back one-on-one, which we know Anderz is good in these situations. Here the opponent should have remained in his position, but he panicked and rushed to press. Anderz beats his defender easily and scores. This always happens if you lose the ball in your half, you panic. So the second leg begins and Anderz takes the lead. I have nothing much to say about this goal. It's a pure luck or game error goal. There's no way this has to happen. Second half, and Anderz builds up always from the wing. If the opponent approaches the ball holder, turn away and pass, and if he cuts the passing lane, take the other open pass, always visioning the triangle pattern, send players forward and create an attacking momentum. If the opponent is passive, take your time on the ball. If there's no many passing options, if you run out of options, call players short and pass to them. Receive the ball in a very safe way always, take that forward open. Pass if it opens up. If the opponent overcommits to cover up space and you're having a pass, use the ball roll to open up the angle and take the pass. Though this goal Anderz was little bit lucky, but it doesn't matter. Antonio scores his first goal of the second leg to make it 4-5 at 72 minutes. Anderz was not done yet. He built up usually from the wing, finds his player at the edge of the box, beats his defender and scores. So that's it for today guys. It was a long video but we managed to cover it up. Thanks for watching.